Why do you keep chasing her when deep down you know it's pushing her further away? You text her constantly, you're always available at her beck and call, and somehow the harder you try, the more distant she becomes. You've been told to just be yourself, but that hasn't worked either. What if I told you there's a completely different approach that not only stops the chase, but actually reverses it? The truth is, you've been operating from a place of scarcity without even realizing it. Every time you chase, you're essentially communicating that you don't believe you're worthy of her attention unless you're constantly working for it. Think about it. When you're always available, always responding immediately, always trying to impress her, what message are you really sending? You're telling her that your time has no value. You're showing her that you have nothing better to do than wait around for her response. And here's the painful reality. When someone believes they can have your attention whenever they want it, that attention becomes worthless to them. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment you stop chasing, something shifts in the dynamic. Suddenly your attention becomes scarce. Your time becomes valuable. And humans by nature want what they can't easily have. Now, I'm not talking about playing games or being manipulative. I'm talking about genuinely becoming someone who has a life worth living, someone who has options, someone who doesn't need her validation to feel complete. There's a massive difference between strategic unavailability and having genuine unavailability because you're building something meaningful. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. Instead of texting her good morning every single day, you text her when you actually have something interesting to share. Instead of being available every Friday night, you have plans, projects, goals that matter to you. Instead of asking what she's doing this weekend, you're telling her about the exciting thing you're doing, and maybe, just maybe, inviting her to join, if it fits. The psychology behind this is fascinating. When you stop chasing, you force her to fill the space you used to occupy with her own effort. She starts wondering what you're doing. She starts missing the attention you used to give so freely. She begins to question whether she still has the same hold over you that she once did. But here's the crucial part that most guys get wrong. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming genuinely fulfilled by your own life. It's about developing what psychologists call secure attachment. You're not pulling away to hurt her or to manipulate her into chasing you. You're creating space because you have a life that excites you with or without her in it. Think about the most attractive people you know. Are they constantly chasing others for validation? Are they always available, always trying to prove their worth? Of course not. They're busy building something, creating something, becoming someone. They have an energy about them that draws people in rather than pushing people away through desperation. This is where most dating advice gets it backwards. It tells you to act busy, to pretend you have options, to fake confidence. But pretending is exhausting, and eventually the mask slips. Real attraction comes from genuine self-development, from actually becoming the person who naturally has options because they have invested in themselves. So how do you make this shift? First, you need to audit your current behavior honestly. How often are you initiating contact? How quickly do you respond to her messages? How available are you when she wants to hang out? How much of your emotional energy is consumed by thinking about her and the relationship? Start by creating genuine scarcity in your attention. This doesn't mean ignoring her or being rude. It means having boundaries around your time and energy. If she texts you at 2 in the afternoon, you don't need to respond within 5 minutes. You can respond when you're free, when you've finished what you were working on, when it's convenient for you. Develop interests and pursuits that genuinely excite you. Join that gym class you've been thinking about. Start that side business. Learn that skill you've always wanted to master. The goal isn't to make her jealous, though that might be a side effect. The goal is to become someone who is genuinely excited about their own life. Stop seeking her approval for your decisions. Don't ask if it's okay if you go out with friends. Don't check if she's free before making your own plans. Make your plans first, then see if she fits into them, not the other way around. Here's what starts happening when you implement this correctly. She begins to notice that you're not as readily available as you used to be. She starts reaching out first more often. She begins putting in effort to spend time with you because she realizes your time has value, and she might miss out if she doesn't act. But remember, this only works if it comes from a place of genuine self-respect and self-development, not from a place of trying to manipulate her behavior. If you're doing this solely to get her to chase you, she'll sense the desperation underneath the act. People can feel when behavior is authentic versus when it's strategic. The beautiful irony is that when you stop needing her to chase you, when you stop caring whether she does or not because you're genuinely fulfilled by your own life, that's exactly when she starts chasing. It's when you become genuinely outcome independent that the outcome you originally wanted often manifests naturally. This shift requires you to confront some uncomfortable truths about yourself. Why were you chasing in the first place? What void were you trying to fill with her attention? What insecurities were you trying to soothe with her validation? These are the deeper questions that, when answered honestly, lead to lasting change. The most powerful position you can be in with anyone is to genuinely enjoy their company while being completely okay if they choose not to be in your life. This isn't indifference, it's freedom. It's the freedom that comes from knowing your worth isn't determined by someone else's attention or affection. So stop chasing, start building, create a life so compelling that people naturally want to be part of it. Develop yourself to the point where your attention becomes a gift rather than a given. When you do this authentically, you won't need to worry about whether she's chasing you or not, because you'll have created something much more valuable than her validation. You'll have created genuine self-respect and a life worth living. The chase ends when you realize you were never supposed to be the one running in the first place.